We're going to begin, though, with the aftermath of the Mueller report, which not surprisingly is turning into a political feeding frenzy. Republicans who have chased as many, if not more, made-up issues as Democrats are now using the Mueller report as a bludgeoning tool against their opposition. Caught in the crosshairs is none other than Congressman Adam Schiff. Why he is being targeted politically? Because the fact is, probably no one single elected official did more to push the Russiagate narrative than Mr. Schiff. So today, Republicans are asking for his resignation. And joining us now with this story is RT correspondent Dan Cohen. Dan, bring us up to date on this, would you?
Well, Rick, for years, skeptics of the Russiagate collusion narrative have been warning that this is going to blow back on the Democratic Party and the broader left. And I think that's exactly what's happening. Check out President Trump's tweet from this morning. He says, Congressman Adam Schiff, who spent 2 years knowingly and unlawfully lying and leaking, should be forced to resign from Congress. Now, Steve Bannon, a couple days ago, said following the Mueller report, finding no evidence of collusion, that President Trump would go full animal and bludgeon his enemies. And that's basically what's happening. Now, at the hearing this morning, Ohio Congressman Michael Turner echoed President Trump's call and accused Schiff of using McCarthyite tactics, referring to Senator Joseph McCarthy, who in the 1940s and 50s alleged that everyone around him, members of Congress, members of the military, were part of a communist plot.
A Russian communist plot.
Yes. Take a listen to what he said.
You behave as if your fellow members of this committee are your enemy. You behave as if the president is also similarly your enemy. And in true McCarthy fashion, you act as though you are the only one who is capable of protecting this nation, and everyone else is a co-conspirator who have suspected intentions. Mr. Chairman, I'm asking for your resignation today because I believe you are advancing Putin's work.
Wow, what a beating. How did he respond?
Adam Schiff went even further, and he said he still has evidence. And he's doubling down.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. He's not saying, I was wrong. We need to take a step back and think about how this has affected American society and trust and media and politicians.
So he's saying he knows more than Mueller.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. He's doubling down. But what's really fascinating about that is first Turner says you're using McCarthyite tactics, and then he says you're doing Putin's work. So they're both basically pointing the finger at each other, saying you're doing Putin's work. No, you're doing Putin's work.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting, and I think we should point this out, because, look, we're not here to take sides with the Democrats or the Republicans. That's not the kind of newscast we do. The Republicans in this case have an opportunity to fire away at the Democrats, and this could easily have been turned on them. In fact, we could probably find cases where they, too, have played the same game that the Democrats played with the Russiagate story.
Definitely. I think the real question that, they need to be asking is, what is this a symptom of? To me, it's, when you look at what has happened with the U.S. over the last decade or so, it's lost its primacy. It's failed to achieve regime change in Syria, for instance. In Venezuela, it's failed. And so now they're pointing the finger at each other, saying you're...
But and I don't mean to interrupt, but you made me think of something, and how much of it has to do with these people. I was going to use another word, but these guys and women who work in Congress who would, it seems to me, sell their soul to the highest bidder oftentimes. And maybe that's where the problem starts.
Exactly. What is the average working class American? How do they benefit from this Cold War hysteria, from these back and forth exchanges with, just heightening up tensions with another nuclear power? It's not in their interest.
Or between the Republicans and the Democrats fighting against each other rather than for the American people.
Exactly.
And maybe that's the real problem, as simple and as rudimentary as it may sound. Dan, good conversation. Thank you for following that for us. I'm Rick Sanchez. You found us on YouTube, and that's awesome. But you know what? I'm also live every night at 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern on DirecTV and Dish and cable and satellite, the RT app, and Pluto TV. I'll see you there.